How good you are at your job will have absolutely nothing to do with whether you'll be successful in your chosen career. More often than not, your ability to cultivate a network is going to be far more important than your technical abilities on the job. Despite the importance of networking, few college grads actually have solid networking skills. The emphasis on academics and technical skills in the universities has come at the expense of the necessary social skills needed to excel within the professional workplace. Hi everybody, I'm Nathaniel Carter for living1percent.com. This video assumes you have zero network. That's okay. Keep watching and you'll learn exactly how to develop your own network. You're going to put yourself ahead of the pack when it comes time to land that big job. Oh, and stay tuned to the end, and I'm going to share with you my most controversial piece of advice for college students. If you're a college senior getting ready to graduate, congratulations! You're late for class. The key to cultivating good professional relationships in your network is time. This isn't about a few quick chats with somebody in the industry. There's research and evaluation involved. Once you have a decent plan of what path you want to take, start networking. Ideally, this should start in your sophomore year, certainly by your junior year at the latest. The larger your professional network before you graduate, the better. The more heads you can touch, the more opportunities you're going to have. You do not need to be 100% committed to your planned path in order to start networking. Many college students change majors midstream. You can change networking strategies to correspond with the changing plan that you have. Through your networking, you might discover that you actually need to change academic majors in order to have a better chance once you go into the workplace. What do you know about the industry that you plan to work in after you graduate? If you're like most college graduates, you haven't got a clue. Nobody is talking about this in any of your lectures. The answers aren't in the library either. They're not in a textbook. Start with Google and find a trade publication for information. What are the trends? What's driving the market? What issues is your sector facing both internally and within the wider context of the economy? If nothing else, college has taught you how to do research. Take that skill set for a spin and let's get your knowledge base up to scratch. The next piece of the puzzle is finding out who works in your industry. What companies do they work for? Utilize LinkedIn to find who does what across a number of companies within the sector that you're researching. There's nothing wrong with starting with a really big list and narrowing it down to a smaller list of key positions in companies that you are hoping to work for in the future. The next step is to prepare a question for somebody that you want to talk to. Now, I'm not just talking about just any question. Nobody wants to answer a question like, why is your job cool? That's pretty high school. Develop a question based on the research that you've done. Send an email. Introduce yourself. Talk briefly about the topic that you're talking about and ask your question. Keep the email short, less than 500 words. Ideally, just a couple of paragraphs. You're not expected to be an expert in your field. You're probably talking to the expert. Just show enough knowledge that you can demonstrate that you're not just a piker wasting their time. Send an email to a number of people that you've researched. Not everybody's going to respond, and you're also going to find that there's considerable disagreement on a wide range of issues within the sector. There is no limit to how big your network can be. Networking ultimately is about touching heads. Reach out. Before I move on, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you can hear more great content about how you can be the best version of yourself. If you receive a favorable reply, well done, you've made a connection. Once you've gotten somebody to answer one of your questions, ask if you can drop additional questions from time to time. Now, this does not mean barraging their email with an ego-driven bunch of correspondence. Send an email on a monthly basis is about right. Repeat steps 2 and 3. After a few months of continued contacts, then you can start to ask some questions and get advice on issues that are more related directly to you. This is the point where you can start to ask about your present or future job hunt. Ask for an opinion on a variety of companies. Somebody who is knowledgeable in the industry has most likely worked for 2 or more of the major companies within the industry. Ask for a recommendation or ask your contact to keep you in mind if an opportunity in their company comes along. If you do land an interview, get advice on the workplace culture and the types of projects that are being worked on. This will get you a considerable leg up on your competition. Thanks for tuning in. Now I'm going to make it pay off. I mentioned earlier that I had a particular controversial piece of advice, and here it is. Most of you are better off spending more time networking than on trying to get 90s in your classes. 80% of college students will not be pursuing further studies at the graduate level, whether this is a master's degree, law school, medical school, or an MBA. This means that the vast majority of you are heading directly to the workplace. If you spend as much time in the bar as you did in class, you'll be happy to hear that very few companies are looking for a university transcript when you apply to them. After you graduate, there is basically no difference between somebody that got a 90% in their studies and somebody that got 75%. 75% is easy to get. Put your 20 hours of study in every week and show up to class. Getting 90% takes considerably more effort. How about at least another 20 hours of preparation every week? And all of that for very little reward beyond school. For most students, that extra effort has less value than putting in more time networking. Remember, work smarter, not harder. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Check out the channel for more great videos on how to make your life 1% better tomorrow than it is today. There's even more resources available at www.living1percent.com, and hit up our social media channels for regular updates. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. For living1percent.com, I'm Nathaniel Carter. Thanks for watching. Thank you.